Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Duffy.
And I'm Jackie DeAngelis, in for Dagan McDowell. Welcome to the Bottom Line.
Welcome to the Bottom Line train.
Thank you. Good
Jackie,
to be here.
Good to have you here. All right, 2024, a new year. But expect more of the same old funding fights on Capitol Hill. When they get back to Washington, lawmakers, they're going to race against the clock to hammer out details on spending before yet another potential government shutdown.
That's right. And defense funding is always a priority for both sides of the aisle. But that doesn't mean that it's all sunshine and rainbows on that particular front. Just before Christmas, Congress passed $886 billion for national defense programs.
Big cash.
Yeah.
Hawks of both parties in the Senate want to increase that number by another $8 billion in emergency funding, a move which some House Republicans, they strongly oppose.
Meanwhile, the Biden administration announced another $250 million in an aid package for the proxy war in Ukraine. In case they forgot, they're still in a battle with Congress over Ukraine funding as the two branches are at odds over border security.
No doubt about that. And when it comes to non-defense spending, expect more debate. All in all, this is starting to sound a lot more like more money and a lot more problems.
Yeah, we've heard that song before. Inflation still hasn't come down much. Cities are maxing out on resources to accommodate migrants. All that cash going to green energy, not proving to be worth it just yet.
No.
And kids are still struggling in school despite all of that COVID money.
A lot of COVID money. All right, here with reaction, he's the House Majority Whip. He's also a great hockey player, or used to be a great hockey player. Congressman Tom Emmer, welcome to the Bottom Line. I was going back a few years on the hockey,
Hey, thank
Tom.
you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Hey,
So,
the older I get, the better I was, Sean. Thank you.
you were great. And back when I was in Congress, you were amazing, so I can't imagine how you are now as still a hockey player. So, Tom, let's go from hockey to Congress, though. That is the question. There's big funding fights. Conservatives, Republicans like yourself, the team you lead, you're trying to cut back spending, trying to get this, massive deficit under control. And Democrats want to keep spending. Is there going to be any deal that you see in sight coming as we get to the new year?
There has to be a deal, Sean. Otherwise, the government's not going to continue to operate, at least a piece of it. We've got to be done with 4 of the bills by January 19th, as you know, and then the balance of them by February 2nd. We're in the House. I hear all these people talk about what have we accomplished in the House. It's been a great year in the House. But we got a Senate that hasn't done anything. We've got a White House that has been reluctant, Sean, to do anything. So we've got 12 appropriations bills that have moved through the committee process. 7 of them, actually all of them have been on the House floor. 7 of them have passed already. They're ready for conferencing, and we've got a Senate, a Schumer-led Senate that literally passed one quote-unquote package of spending bills. It was 3 bills, Sean. That's all they've done over there. So that's the issue, and we're going to have to really kick it into gear quick.
Well, that's the thing, Congressman. Critics are now saying, and they're talking about Congress as a whole, the 118th Congress hasn't necessarily been that productive at all this year. 34 bills passed, signed into law earlier this month. The minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, lashed out at Republicans, saying it's all your fault.
This do-nothing Republican Congress right now is the least productive in modern American history. They have no affirmative legislative agenda.
So how do you get the two sides to come together to, meet somewhere in the middle and be able to make sure that the government still keeps functioning?
Well, first, Jackie, we have led every step of the way. We passed the Parental Bill of Rights. We passed the strongest border security bill in 20 years. We passed the debt ceiling deal, the original one, when we wouldn't get in the White House or the Senate to move, and ultimately got that done. We passed the largest pay increase for our troops in 20 years. The House has been accomplishing huge things. Unfortunately, we only control 1/2 of 1/3 of our government, and you've got to have some willing participants in the Senate, and Chuck Schumer has been less than willing, and frankly, you got to have some competence in the White House, and I would argue, Jackie, there is literally no competence in the White House right now.
And Tom, you oftentimes have to use the funding as a leverage to get things done, especially with these radical lefties that are in the Senate and also in the House and an administration that has completely gone, at best socialist, and some would say communist. So hopefully you guys will use that to great avail. But let's switch gears to the foreign policy quagmire Joe Biden's created in the Middle East. Iran is inching closer and closer to realizing its goal of building a nuclear bomb. And the United Nations warning that Tehran has tripled production of near weapons grade uranium after a brief slowdown over the summer. The Iranian regime, unsurprisingly, denied the claim, calling it a media frenzy. So, Tom, how should the U.S. be responding to this advancement in Iran towards nuclear weapons?
Well, think about it, Sean. Iran is the sponsor of terrorism around the globe, the chief state sponsor of terrorism, whether it's Hamas, whether it's Hezbollah, whether it's the Qataris. This is all because of Iran. And why is that happening? Well, if you are a fan of boxing, in a boxing match, what they'll do is they call it leaning in. A combatant will lean in to see how hard the first punch is, Sean, and if it's not that hard, they just keep right on coming. And that's what's happened with Iran. That's what's happened with all of the terrorists that they sponsor, is that we've got an administration that, we've had 100 attacks, somewhere around that, on Americans now. And we've had less than 10 responses, Sean. This president, because of his weak-kneed leadership and the people around him, have not only put our allies around the world at risk, but now they've put our kids at risk at the same time, Sean. And it's because of their failing leadership.
Yeah, his foreign policy has been a colossal failure on so many fronts. But Congressman, before we let you go, we also wanted to get your take on this. A professor in your home state at the University of Minnesota who publicly denied the atrocities committed by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. Now, this person being considered for the top position in the school's DEI department. The professor has been reportedly seen on campus attending anti-Israel rallies and chanting globalize Antifada. So in this testimony given to the University Review Panel as a part of the selection process for the position, denied the fact that Hamas raped Israeli women.
A video of that testimony now appears to have been deleted from the university website. Tom, obviously, Minnesota is not a bastion of conservatism, but again, denying the attacks on October 7th and then promoting to a DEI position. What's happening at the U of M?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. This guy's supposedly a rape counselor.
Yeah.
And you've got some of the most atrocious actions against Jewish women on October 7th that he won't not only recognize, but he wouldn't condemn. This radical anti-Semite has no place on any campus, and it's unfortunate that the University of Minnesota is going to have to take some time to try and figure out. Maybe they're a little bit like Harvard, Penn, and MIT. They got to figure out, what right and wrong is. And in this case, the right is standing up for Israel's right to exist and protect itself. And the wrong, if you're not willing to condemn the actions of Hamas right out of the gate, then there's a problem.
Tom, one more question before you go. Obviously, when I knew you, you had black hair. Now your hair is turning white, nice and gray. I'm kidding, but you have one of the hardest jobs in Congress, in all honesty. I mean, trying to whip a House majority with a couple seat majority is not easy. You're going to have a showdown. Obviously, Democrats and some Republicans want more Ukraine funding, but you've said, not so fast. We want you to secure the border. Are you going to be able to reach a deal? Where's the negotiations on border security in exchange for Ukraine funding?
Again, if we go back to the beginning of this interview, you got to have willing participants. And the Senate and the White House have been unwilling up till now to participate in these discussions. The Senate is actually having ongoing discussions. The White House appears to be interested. And lo and behold, Sean, we've got an election next fall, and they've got a major border problem that is now starting to show up in their polling. So guess what? They're now going to care a little bit about the southern border, and they're trying to figure out how they thread the needle between their radical left that literally wants open borders and has no issue with it versus where they know the American people are, which is if you're a country, you have a border and you protect that border. Whether we get to a deal, we'll find out in the next couple of weeks. I suspect it's going to be part of this larger spending program that we're going to have to figure out how to do, Sean. So there will be no aid, I believe, to Ukraine without the southern border being sealed.
Good.
Amazing.
I like it.
Yeah.
Tom Emmer, always a pleasure. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us on The Bottom Line, and keep up the great work in Congress.